Hello everyone, Raghu Konamola here. I know I'm posting the content after a long time, but going further, I'll ensure that I'm posting the content very frequently. Maybe I'll be connecting with the people, and then I'll be recording that, and I'll be posting that on this particular channel, Raghavendra Konamola. Being said that, I have Nikhil with me, Nikhil Madirala. Just to give a little bit of introduction about Nikhil. I've known Nikhil Madirala from the last 10 years. I met him while he was working with Deloitte, and later he went on to Yale University, and then now he's currently working with Meta as a product manager. And Niklana, correct me if I'm wrong. As far as I know, you are into AI and all, correct?
Yes, I work as an AI product manager currently at Meta. Before that, at Adobe, and I work on building AI products at tech companies. And yeah, that's what I do. I'm also just very passionate about AI. I've been involved in this field through my education and work for the past 10 years or so. And it's really cool to see that now AI is really taking off, and consumers and people everywhere are really excited about it. So yeah, that makes me happy because it's something I've been excited about for over 10 years now, and now like everyone is excited about it.
And you mentioned 10 years. I mean, somehow you had a connect with AI from the last 10 years. Is it so?
Yeah, I did my first master's degree from 2012 to 2014 at the Institute for Logic, Language, and Computation in Amsterdam. And this was a master's degree in logic, which was one of the early approaches to AI. And I was studying different approaches to how you can model language using logic or computational statistical methods. Like it was called natural language processing back in the day. Now the big thing is language modeling. But yeah, this is an ongoing project. It's for the last 10, 20 or more years, people have been trying to do it. Like right now, it's become very successful. But yeah, I was involved in it from before it became very successful. And those were some other approaches to AI.
I got to know about AI ever since ChatGPT became so popular.
Yeah, that's when most people got to know about it. And I think it's a really cool introduction to AI because for the first time, you can actually talk to AI and interact with it. Previously, AI was being used more like behind the scenes, like in a lot of products that you use every day, like when you open Facebook or any other popular application. There's a lot of AI behind the scenes that's being used to recommend the right content to you, to show you the right ads and things like that. So AI was always there behind the scenes, at least for the past 10 years or so. It was just not exposed to customers as AI. But I think what happened with ChatGPT is for the first time, users are able to interact with the AI and talk to it, and it comes alive. So that's why I think now people are much more aware of it.
I guess I am part of that first-time users or that community, who got to know about AI just after ChatGPT went popular, and later players like Google and others have come into the picture. That being said, Anna, I just wanted my audience to know that you're running this channel named the Art and Science of AI, where Nikhilana, along with one of his friends, is posting a lot of AI related content. If there's anyone who is very much interested in knowing ABCDs of AI, I guess that's the right place for you guys to go and check it out. In fact, just go there, check it out. I'll be putting the video in the comment in the description as well. So kindly do subscribe, and I'm sure you get to learn a lot from that particular channel.
My podcast is called The Art and Science of AI. It's about understanding the science of how AI works and the art of how people can use AI to transform your life, your business, or society. And tune in to learn more about that.
Since we're talking about AI and content creation, I'm sure we're going to, spend some time talking about AI. And since we just spoke about the content creation, and you started posting videos about the AI on your channel, the Art and Science of AI. So are we going to see Nikhil as a content creator in the days to come, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fun project that I started doing, content creation. For me, it's just a way of sharing my passion and excitement with other people. I think today, like pretty much anyone can become a content creator. Like really all it requires is that you have access to like a smartphone.
True.
You can create content in many ways. You can create written content through writing blogs or newsletters. You can create videos like we're doing right now. All you need is really a camera to do that. So yeah, I think content creation should be like a part of many people's lives as a way of expressing things that you're passionate about, sharing them with the world, and also to showcase your insights and expertise. So I think going forward, we're going to see a lot more people become content creators. Already, companies are doing this a lot more, engaging with audiences on social media, podcasts, and all these different platforms. So I think just content creation is going to become like a more normal part of people's lives in general. Okay. And I'm excited to be exploring this world of content creation and figuring out how to create engaging content, how to engage with audiences. And there's a lot of work that goes around it. You have to figure out like how to promote your content, then how to find the right audience to connect to. How do you make sure your content is actually addressing things that they care about? So I haven't gotten like super deep into this. I'm just kind of doing this for fun because I just like having conversations like this about topics that I'm interested in, and I'm just putting them out there and experimenting to see what kind of audience is interested in this, and maybe over time I'll develop more of a niche or like a focus or something like that. Yeah.
True. And talking about this equation, demand and supply, nowadays, whosoever has access to, camera, whosoever has access to smartphone, right? We can call them a content creator because these days, people are shooting whatever that they come across and they're posting it. So how do you see it? I mean, there's a lot of demand, or there's more supply and less demand, or?
I think they're both growing. Like demand is also growing and supply is also growing. Like, there are billions of people in the world, and many of them still have not really started engaging with online content consumption. I think especially in places like India, like the rate of internet penetration and engagement with content and things like that is still like lower. So as people become more tech savvy and start adopting technology and apps more, so the demand is also growing. And I mean, at some point we'll probably reach a saturation of demand, maybe like 20 years down the line, like everyone in the world is like a content consumer in some way. So yeah, demand is growing and may get saturated at some point, but supply also is growing a lot. Like, and as you pointed out rightly, anyone can be a content creator.
True.
So I think it depends what your goals are. Like with traditional media, the goal was to create content that has like a wide mass appeal, and you're creating content that millions or tens of millions of people want to consume. But I think these days it's possible that you might create some content and only like a few hundred or 1,000 people are engaging with that. But maybe that's enough because you just found like a particular niche that you're excited and passionate about and have some knowledge about. And maybe there's just like a small number of people that are interested in that. So I think there will be room for like different types of content creators because like the demand is also growing. So yeah, I think it just depends on what your goals are for content creation. Like for me, like I said, it's just a fun like hobby or side project that I'm doing. But if your goal is that you want to become a professional content creator, that I think is much more difficult, and there's a lot of competition and a lot of supply in that space. And I honestly don't know anything about being a professional content creator.
I have a question to you, Anna. I mean, this question, right, I'm asking from youngsters' point of view, those who are done with their graduation, above to start their professional career and all. if I just give you the context to a lot of us out there, AI is just a chat GPT. AI is just a, video creator, content generator, or a script writer or something like that. But if I ask you to define AI in layman's terms, just so that we understand it, would you just take a moment and talk about it, please?
I think just broadly, you can think of AI as computer applications that can perform any tasks or actions that require human intelligence to do. And it's a pretty broad definition, and it's not very specific. And over time, it keeps changing. What is AI? Like earlier, maybe 10, 20 years ago, we used to think of simple computer games or video games as AI. Like, you might be playing a car racing game and you're racing against some computer opponents that are driving a car. That is a form of AI because there's some artificial program that's controlling how the car moves in reaction to what you're doing. But these days, we typically, now that AI is more advanced, we don't consider those simple rule-based systems to be AI. Today, we think of AI as something much more sophisticated, something that can learn from scratch on its own. But I think what is AI is always a moving target. Whenever something becomes easy, then people will start saying, oh, that's not really AI. AI is the more advanced stuff. But I think broadly, you can think about it as software, computer programs that can perform any tasks or actions that typically like humans had to do just by themselves. So I think that's a pretty basic definition of AI, and it keeps advancing all the time.
So AI uses human intelligence to advance, and at the same time, I'm just going to the critical part. I know we humans have created this AI.
Yeah.
Somehow, to me, I feel like maybe a certain set of people are creating it, working towards it, just to replace the entire human force. For example, 100 people are involved in creating this AI, and that AI output is somehow replacing lakhs of people, to be frank.
Right.
So where do you see this AI versus human war going? To be frank, I'm sure a lot of the current jobs that we have, I'm sure will not be there 10 years down the line. Now, how will people survive is the question.
Yeah, I think nobody knows the future, obviously, but we can look at some past historical examples of when these kinds of revolutions have happened in history. Some interesting examples are, one is there's the Industrial Revolution of like the 1800s, when a lot of when people invented like the steam engine, people invented electricity and factories and things like that. So before that, all manufacturing was just done by hand. Like, you're wearing a t-shirt, I am wearing this shirt. Like these things were made by human beings manually. They had to weave the textiles and make these things, and it was very time consuming. But then once we automated this process with the Industrial Revolution, like that, it's the same kind of process that happened. That need went away. We didn't need so many people to be making clothes by hand. Instead, we had machines that did those, and we had a few people that were designing and operating the machines. And the same trend happened in fields like agriculture, for example. Like those got very sophisticated and advanced with machinery to automate a lot of processes. So that's one example. But if you think about what happened there, sure, a lot of jobs were lost, but as we advanced, like a lot of new jobs were created. So previously, if you look 100, 200 years back, probably a very large percentage of the population was just engaged in agriculture. I don't know the exact number, but I think probably 50+% of the population was just doing agriculture. So at that time, if you said that, hey, suddenly we have this technology that's going to automate agriculture and like textiles, manufacturing, and so on, what's going to happen to all these jobs? And yeah, at that time, nobody knew. And sure, a lot of these jobs did go away, but we had a lot of new jobs that emerged then. At that time, who would have known that in the modern world, like one of the most important jobs will be like software engineering? Like
True.
So these were new things that got created. And so similar to that, there are other revolutions in history. One is the computing and internet revolution of like the 1990s, and that saw a lot of changes. So anytime a revolution like this happens, there is a lot of disruption, a lot of change happens. Yes, and you're right, a lot of existing jobs will become obsolete, they'll disappear.
True.
But we don't know what the future holds, and we don't know what kind of new jobs will be created, what kind of new demand will be created, and new things that we'll need. So it's really hard to say. It could be that this will be like one of the previous revolutions where a lot of the jobs that we currently do will get automated, but then new things will open up that we currently don't know about.
So are you optimistic about the future with the AI?
I mean, at least in the short term, yes, I'm optimistic. I don't see, at least in the next 10, 20 years or so, any like very significant, like large scale disruption happening. Long term, I don't know, like nobody knows.
Okay. Out of curiosity, and I know AI can do a lot. It is doing literally everything. Is there anything that AI cannot do? I mean, I thought I'll ask it this way.
There's like actually most things today that people do, like AI cannot do. Like most like end-to-end jobs, like AI cannot do those. So right now, all you're seeing is that AI is able to perform certain tasks that are involved in a job, and people like employees and workers are using AI to help them become more productive. So we still haven't like seen large scale automation of like a large number of jobs with AI. So I think right now the capabilities are still limited. The outputs generated by AI have many like quality control issues, and they're still not at the level where they're able to replace humans. But yeah, maybe if you're asking about in future, what are the kinds of things AI cannot do? There are many things that are pretty difficult for AI to do. Anything that involves like human interaction is still like pretty difficult for AI to do, especially if it's more like a soft skills based interaction. If it requires like a human connection, that is difficult for AI to do. Things in like the physical world, like robotics, is still early stage. So any job that's not just something you're doing on a computer, but if it involves like doing things like with your hands and legs and your body, like thinking about like construction and things like that, are still like pretty difficult for AI to fully automate. So it's still in early stages. It's able to automate and help with some limited number of tasks, but it is still not at a level where you can where a company can suddenly replace like a large number of its employees with only AI. We're not there yet.
Maybe that might happen in the future to come.
It might. And then as we said, like if that happens, there might also be a whole new
Other
set of
opportunities,
jobs that are
true.
created that we just don't know about right now.
I'm little worried about this fact. Earlier, I used to take 1 hour to write, for example, 10 emails. Now, ChatGPT can give me 20 drafts in 10 minutes or, 100 drafts in 1 hour.
Yeah.
And then if I wanted to write some script earlier when I started this YouTube and all, I used to, spend 1 week or 2 weeks, a lot of time in writing scripts, preparing ideas and all. But now I simply have to tell ChatGPT that, can you write a script on, AI, on personal finance? It gives me the script in minutes.
Yeah.
And where do you see that going? Because as an individual, I'm not spending a lot of time thinking. I'm just, asking the machine, can you write an email this way, that way? This is the input. I want this output. Can you do it? And it is immediately doing it, right? So as an individual, my involvement has been, minimized a lot. I'm not thinking much. In fact, the other day I was writing emails and I used ChatGPT. In fact, I did it in minutes. And I started worrying, what is going to happen to the originality? In case if we ask, there are a lot of AI generated videos in the market.
Yeah.
Versus the human, created content, I could see the difference. The human touch
like none
is
of
missing.
the content I consume, like I follow a lot of YouTube creators, a lot of podcasters and stuff, like, and I've not seen anything that's fully AI generated that is anywhere near the quality of actual creators that I follow. So it's still not there, but I think like the creators are probably using AI to become more productive. Like I use it in my podcasting and content creation. I automate certain parts of the workflow, like helping me come up with ideas. And then after I record the podcast, it helps me generate the summary and the transcripts and the show notes and all of that. So it's just making me more productive. I don't, like, my end goal is still in my control. And so I think even in the example you gave, if you're writing some emails, you still have to think about what is the end goal of this email you're writing? What is the purpose of that? And like, your job is not writing emails, right? Your job is to deliver some outcome for the company you work for. And I think AI is still not at the level where it can just deliver that outcome. Writing an email is just like one step in your entire workflow and process. So it's able to help with that. And even that is not 100% because probably you have to revise the emails that it writes, and you have to give it very clear directions on how to write and what is the purpose and objective. So I think it's possible that it'll just make you more productive, and you'll be able to get a lot more done, and you're putting your thought into not choosing the exact words that you have to write in the email, but thinking more about higher level goals and objectives. Like, what is the purpose of this email? What do I want to communicate? And then the execution, like the AI is helping you with, like just choosing the exact right words and how to structure it. But that's just one part of it. So yeah, I still don't see that AI is at a place where it's fully automating any of these jobs, whether they're for employers or for creators or anywhere. I think it's more important right now that I think one common phrase that you hear is that you are not going to be replaced by AI. You're probably going to be replaced by someone else who knows how to use AI. So that's actually a more likely scenario that will happen. So I think what's more relevant for people in any profession today is to start using AI to think about what parts of their day-to-day job tasks and responsibilities AI can help with, and how it can make them more productive. And that would be my general advice to like anyone who's worried about this, is just start using AI, because the bigger risk to you right now is that you'll be replaced by someone else who uses AI to be more productive. The risk is not that you're going to be replaced by AI. So I think like we should all become the version of ourselves that is more productive with AI. So just involves thinking clearly about your overall workflow in your job or your business or in your personal life, or whatever it is. Think about all the tasks that you're doing. Are any of them like repetitive tasks or things that could easily be done with the help of AI? And like start using these tools and see how it can make you more productive. I think that would be the best way to approach this in my view.
If this had been an article, the line that you just used, I would have underlined it.
Yeah, I didn't come up with it, by the way. I've seen it on the internet. A lot of people are saying it, but I fully agree with it.
Like AI replaces you if you don't get along with AI, or someone with the AI might replace someone who doesn't know AI. Maybe. I know we spent a lot of time talking about it. I just will take a few minutes of your time. This is maybe one word answer kind of. Is overusing AI problematic? I mean, or will that, put that into some comfort zone or something
I think
like
if
that?
you use it blindly, it is problematic, yes. Like if you're just, like if you have to write emails and you're just literally putting a prompt into the chatbot and copying its response, yes. If you're not thinking, that's problematic.
True, that's
but
happening.
If you're using it in a thoughtful way where you're actually thinking about what is the goals and objective that you want, and then working with the AI to meet that objective, I think there's no risk of overuse there. Just like don't use it blindly.
Yeah, a couple of takeaways out of what you just spoke. Don't use it blindly is a message to all the viewers. And at the same time, use it with an objective in mind, and use it moderately. Maybe that's what you said.
Yeah, I don't think there's any moderation required. Just like be clear on what your objective is and work with the AI to help you meet that objective. And like make sure you're monitoring the outputs you're getting from it, and that it's actually helping you meet your goals and objectives in the right way. And there's a lot of feedback. You have to like often coach the AI and give it feedback and train it such that it gives you the right output that you want.
Got it. I literally, do not have much to ask, but before we wrap, I want you to, tell my audience, this is kind of an advice, in case if there's anyone who is thinking of getting into AI, that industry and all, where can they start,
Yeah, I would literally just start with what I just said. Like, think about everything you're currently doing. Like, think about what things you do in your personal life, things you do in your business, things that you do in your job, if you have a job or a business, like, depending on that. Like, think about your day-to-day workflow. What are the tasks you do? Like, you write some emails, maybe you're collecting some data from somewhere, maybe you're communicating with other people, maybe you're doing some research. So just think very deeply about all the tasks that you're doing on a daily basis in different areas of your life, and look carefully for where AI can help you. Actually try it out everywhere and see where it's able to help you, where it's not able to help you. So I think right now the main thing to do is go explore capabilities of AI and how it can help you with what you are currently doing. And that's really the best starting point for anyone. And then once you figure that out and you start using it, then you can think about some more advanced things like that. Okay, like I had some process that AI helped me with, and now can I build some kind of tool or like workflow or automation out of it? And then you can maybe, turn that into a business of your own, or maybe that can become a job that you do or something. But yeah, it really starts with identifying what are the problems, challenges, and tasks that you have to do and how you can use AI for that.
Got it. Thank you so much for saying that. Hopefully, the audience will follow. They'll figure out what AI can do, and then in case if that interests them, they can go deeper into it.
Yeah, and check out my podcast. There are a lot of cool examples where we've talked about different ways in which people are using AI. Maybe there's some inspiration or something that you find interesting there.
So just the content is there on the art and science of AI.
Yeah, and you can add a link to it in this episode.
Sure, I'll definitely do it. I did not get any gift hamper or anything like that. I should have gotten it. But I don't know how to thank you. But thank you so much for your time, Nikhil.
No problem. I love talking about this stuff, and I'm happy to do it. Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll do one more podcast when you come back again. Thank you so much, Nikhil. That's a wrap, everyone. I hope you like the content. We'll come back with another interesting podcast. Stay tuned. Take care. Thank you.